Hello, here's a short video on handling the internal activation that arises when we are emotionally engaged. And sometimes that can get stuck. Sometimes we can find ourselves, it's almost as if we're all dressed up and there's nowhere to go. So somehow we are emotionally engaged in something and we don't know what to do with the energy or the activation that arises out of that. And that can make us very anxious. It's called completing emotional responses in the body. And here are 7 very simple ways of doing that. They don't have to be exact. You can do one or several of them. It doesn't have to match. So choose or try any of them. You will find that your system is able to down-regulate the energy that you raise when you're emotionally engaged, and maybe there's some left over or you're not quite sure what to do with it with any of these. So here we go. I've got my notes here, so I'm going to look down every now and again so I don't forget where I am. So one of the first ones is movement. And movement can be anything from going for a walk, doing a boxing workout in the gym, if we're still allowed to go to gyms. It can be doing some yoga, it can be doing some Pilates, but any kind of movement. It can be dancing around your sitting room. So any kind of movement is really useful actually for getting your system to let go of what it's holding on in terms of activation when you're emotionally engaged. Movement is number one. Now, the next one is hugs. Having hugs. So this is quite an intimate variation on human interaction. But if you can get a hug from someone or give somebody a hug, it is astonishing how that helps release activation which is built up inside, tension which is built up inside. And in a similar way, laughter is. So if you're able to laugh at something, sometimes you might find yourself doing this automatically in any case. And I certainly do. I have always laughed when I've been stressed, which can feel a bit odd sometimes when suddenly I see something as really funny and I'm really stressed. So I'm laughing away, and hopefully not inappropriately, but keep an eye on that. But laughter is superb for releasing the activation when you're emotionally engaged and it's got stuck and you're not sure where to go with it. Social interactions is the next one. Doesn't have to be as intimate as hugs, but just chatting away. And this has everything to do with the ventral vagus nerve and the ability that tummy part of the vagus nerve. It's not the tummy part, it's where it goes into the spine. It goes into the spine at the front. So the front part of the vagus nerve where it goes into the spine. The way that is able to down-regulate our heart rate when it needs to be down-regulated when it's too high, up-regulate it when it's too low. And we do that through social interaction. So benign, neutral social interaction, even with the person on the checkout at the supermarket, is wonderful for that. You can begin to release some of the tension that is associated with being emotionally aroused and not having anywhere to go with that emotion. Creativity. Sing, dance, paint, draw, be creative. If you are creative in any case, get something going. Start doing whatever you're used to doing. So that could be writing poetry, and it could be reading out loud. It could be organizing your wardrobe, putting outfits together. However you're going to be creative, cooking is a marvelous creative outlet. So however you define creativity, that can release the tension associated with energy, which is kind of there latent in the body with nowhere to go because you've been emotionally challenged about something. And breathing. There are lots of breathing exercises. There are a couple of breathing exercises on this channel, so have a look, subscribe and like and have a look and see. Breathing is wonderful, even just in and out and in and out. Make sure that you are breathing. And the big tip here is to breathe out for ever so slightly longer than you breathe in. So if you breathe in for 3, breathe out for 4. It's as simple as that. If you breathe in for 5, breathe out for 6, and that helps. And the last one is using your imagination. So I do this a lot with my one-to-one clients. And if they have a situation where they have been emotionally challenged, where it has been really emotionally very difficult and it's not ended, so there's no conclusion, they don't know what to do with it, we imagine an ending. And that might not have anything to do with what's happening in the real world, doesn't have to. What that has to do with is you letting go of the energy that you've raised to deal with that situation, but you haven't been able to deal with it. So you could have cartoon characters coming in and ending the situation for you. Try and make it a good ending or a satisfying one. You could have mythological creatures coming in. You could rewind and have yourself saying something different. Don't go over and over and over it. Just be wild with it. Bring in any fantastical creature or person that you want to help you with the situation so that you just end it. So this has been all about being able to let go or releases. I don't want to say the word release, but it's because it's inaccurate. But it's about letting the tension dissolve that builds up in the body when we've been emotionally challenged and it's not resolved. We don't know what to do with the situation. Any of those 7 things will help enormously. Take care. Bye bye.